Okay, that's low. If I had a British accent, will that make my videos more interesting? Hey guys, I'm Abdullah at Our Connection, and today I'm going to talk about how to buy the right watch. So, anytime you're planning to buy a watch, whether it's your first or second or third watch, there are a few things that you should keep in mind before pulling the trigger because you don't want to make a bad investment and just throw away your money. You want to make sure that whatever money you spend on a watch, you get your money's worth. So I'm just going to break down a few things that you should keep in mind and you should just consider before buying a watch. Number one, the budget. Before you think of a watch to buy, the first thing you need to establish is how much of your money are you willing to spend. Then you can start to look into different brands and different styles at different price points. The second thing is understanding of the brands. Let me first talk about fashion brands versus traditional watch brands. The reason why most people dislike fashion brands is because they lack originality, they lack heritage. A lot of times they're overcharging the customer, and there's just no original design, there's no quality involved. They're having a cheaply made movement inside the watch. Just to give you an example from personal experience, I bought a Fossil watch that costed about $100, and after about a year, the buckle was damaged, and I went to Fossil to ask for a replacement, and they told me that I would have to replace the strap for about $70 or $80. I was just shocked to know that my watch is just worth so less because this just the strap makes up about 70% of the price of the watch. So that kind of made me think about, what am I getting? What am I paying for? Am I paying all this money just for the strap? Is the watch even any good? Truth be told, that's what's happening with fashion brands. It's mostly marketing. They're spending a lot of money on marketing and they're doing a better job than traditional watch brands, to be honest. But at the end of the day, when you get the actual product, when you put it on your wrist, there's little or no quality there. Comparing that to traditional watch brands, you are getting original design, you are getting innovation, you're getting contribution to the watch industry, you are getting history, heritage, and you are getting value for money. You get what you pay for when it comes to traditional watch brands. Next, let's talk about the movements. I'm not going to go into too much detail on the movements, but just to give you a basic understanding, there are three types of movements that you should be aware of: the quartz movement, the mechanical movement, and the spring drive movement, which is kind of a hybrid between the first two. The first quartz watch was made by Seiko in 1969. Quartz watch is a battery operated watch. So because of its electrical components, the accuracy is much higher than a mechanical watch. Now, a mechanical watch, in comparison, doesn't have any external power source like a battery, but it runs based on movement. So you have two types of mechanical watches. One is your automatic, and the other one is your manual wind movement. In an automatic movement, you just need to move around and that will keep the watch running. But in a manual wind watch, you will have to manually wind the watch to make it run. Now, the spring drive movement, as I said before, is a hybrid of mechanical and quartz watch. It's made by Seiko, and it kind of combines the accuracy of the quartz and the complexity of the mechanical. This results in a smoother sweep than an automatic watch. So just by looking at a watch, how do you know whether this watch is mechanical or quartz? A quartz watch will have a ticking seconds hand, whereas a mechanical watch will have a sweeping seconds hand. A lot of people think that a quartz watch is trash and every mechanical watch is high horology. That's not actually true. You can easily find a $20 mechanical watch as well as a $200,000 mechanical watch. In the same way how you can find $5 quartz watch versus thousands of dollars of high beats quartz watch. Every movement has its pros and cons. So just keep that in mind. People will also think of Swiss made watches as high end and all the other Japanese, German, American watches as below the Swiss. Again, that's not really true. Yes, the Swiss have dominated the watch industry for hundreds of years. Their achievements have been quite significant in the watch world, but that does not mean that others have not done much as well. You've got Japanese, French, German, American, Russian brands that make world-class watches at various price points. So again, we need to not overhype the Swiss and look down on the other watchmakers. What we need to do is look at the watch brand, its contribution, its innovation, its design elements, and all of these things. The next thing to consider is the style and the sizing of the watch. When it comes to style, there are just so many out there, but what you need to think about is your daily attire and what works with that. Some watch collectors often go for 8 to 10 watches just so they have a different type of watch for every occasion. But I would say that's not really important. For example, you can easily pull off a diver's watch on a suit, on a t-shirt, or actual diving. Because of its ruggedness and versatility, it can be worn at almost any kind of occasion. And again, you don't have to pay much to get a good, decent diver's watch. Sizing is another thing that's important. Sometimes when you look at pictures and videos of watches, you might like something, but then when you try it on in person, it just doesn't fit well, it just doesn't feel right. So again, what I will advise you to do is whenever you can, before you pull the trigger on a watch, at least go into the store and try it on to see whether it fits well, and the colors and the design and the style, everything, is it really you? For example, for my skinny 6.25-inch wrist, I can't really pull off anything above 40mm watch case. The reason being is that the lugs are just going to hang off my wrist. You don't want that. You want your watch to sit perfectly on your wrist. It feels like it belongs to you, that is made for you. Next, we're gonna talk about the strap. I mentioned this in my previous video. If you haven't checked it out, I'll put a link up there somewhere. You never buy a watch based on a strap, and this is a mistake I see many people do, and I know this because I literally bought a couple of watches just because I loved them on that strap. The straps or bracelets don't often last as long as the watch itself. The watch with proper maintenance and servicing can last you decades, but a strap will only last a few years and it will just start to break down. A strap can always be replaced, and there are a ton of websites where you can find amazing quality straps. I'll share a link down below of one of the stores that I've used the straps from, and they're just amazing quality and design for the price that they charge. Final thing I need to mention is the maintenance. The servicing and the maintenance of a watch is extremely important. This is just a rule of life, right? Whenever you have anything that's supposed to last you a long time, you need to maintain these things just to keep them in their prime condition. Watches are no different. Mechanical watch will need to be serviced every few years. You need to check with the manufacturer. They're gonna recommend you how often you need to send it for servicing. They just make sure that everything is running smoothly, the watch is keeping the right time, there's no rust, just things like that. For a quartz watch, on the other hand, you don't need to send it for servicing, but you do need to change the battery every now and then. And the best place to do it is from the manufacturer. They might not do the extensive level of servicing as the mechanical watch, but they will still check certain things where they make sure that everything is still running smoothly. So as long as you're keeping your watch well maintained and serviced, your watch should last you decades and decades, even if it's at an affordable price. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Don't forget to like and subscribe and hit the notification bell for the next update, and I'll see you guys in the next one.